And then honestly, I like any.
All right, with multitasking, you gotta bear with me. Here's a little. Let's mute that. Here's a little update. The W. Well, let me read it to you. It's on the website, right? Yeah. Basically, the WBC. They're saying because of headbutts. Basically, they're throwing the ref under the bus like quietly, and of course we should have known that because they love Roman. You know, I said before I don't like calling another grown man Chocolatito, but because you know, they're so in love with Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, they have ordered him to face Rungvisai again, the guy who beat him for that WBC title on undercard of Golovkin versus Jacob. So I'm going to read it to you, and basically going to talk about it a little bit. And you know, it's like this: the majority feel that Roman Gonzalez was robbed. Yes, he was robbed. You know, but why don't they take this stance, or other organizations take this stance when it comes to robberies or what people feel are clear robberies? You know? So I questioned after watching the fight a couple times, well, if you really look at it, depending on how judges score a fight, can you really say that he was robbed? But then again, I looked at it like, okay, yeah, you know, he was robbed, my personal opinion. Plus those headbutts were outrageous. You know, he had cuts all on the top. You don't get cuts on the top of your head from punches, you know? But let's read it to you. Let's read it to you here, what they're saying. This is from the WBC. The WBC received a request from Taking Promotions, K2 Promotions, to order a direct rematch between their fighter, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, and Srisaket Sor Rungvisai after their sensational bout on March 18th, which was won by majority decision by Rungvisai from Thailand. The WBC Board of Governors considers that due to the extraordinary fight, which was extremely close, and considering that the WBC Championship rules and regulations regarding accidental headbutts were not used. That's what he threw the ref under the bus. He said that's what he threw the ref under the bus, saying, yo, bro, you should have counted those headbutts. But most importantly, considering a public demand to witness once again a great match between two great fighters, the WBC has granted the request by unanimous vote to order the rematch between Sor Rungvisai and Gonzalez. The WBC convention ruling had ordered the winner of the March 18th fight, Carlos Caudras. Remember, he fought Rungvisai in a controversial stoppage about 12 fights or so before Rungvisai fought Gonzalez. And we know that a lot of people feel that Caudras also was robbed. There's a lot of people feel he was robbed in a Gonzalez fight. So, you know, he has history with both fighters. Just so happened he was on that card in the fight before Gonzalez versus Rungvisai, and he didn't really look too good. But anyway, moving on. The WBC convention ruling had ordered the winner of March 18th fight, Carlos Caudras. They had ruled before the fight. There was a WBC convention where they said, okay, well, Carlos Caudras, if you get past this next fight, then you fight the winner of Gonzalez versus Rungvisai. So now that Rungvisai has won, before I continue reading it for you, they're saying, okay, well, now, Carlos Caudras, you have to fight Juan Estrada, and then Estrada also has history with the fighters. You have to fight Ron Estrada, you know, and then the winner of Caudras versus Estrada will get the winner of Rungvisai Gonzalez too. But here's the thing: it's going to be for the WBC Interim, and in this case, I can understand why they're putting the WBC Interim title in place, because basically they're saying you're the mandatory. You know, whoever wins between Caudras versus Estrada. But let me read it. Again, the WBC convention ruling had ordered that the winner of the March 18th fight, Carlos Caudras, and considering that the rematch will not take place in some time due to the medical suspension of both fighters, meaning Rungvisai and Gonzalez, because they was fighting the war, the WBC is ordering an interim championship fight between the two highest available contenders, Carlos Caudras versus Juan Francisco Estrada. So they're having this interim fight because basically they're saying, okay, well, we got these two fighters on this medical exemption because they just fought in this war. And you got Roman Gonzalez, got all these cuts and everything all over the place. He's got to let that heal up, you know. So therefore, you know, if he don't go into a fight too soon, you know, you don't have to worry about him getting bad cuts and having scar tissue and dealing with a Gabriel Rosado situation, you know, or what Golden Boy's being accused of doing with Francisco Vargas, basically putting him in too quick of fights after he's getting all these cuts and everything, and you wonder why when he fight again he's getting all cut up. So basically, we don't know when we're going to see Roman Gonzalez back in the ring again. What they fought in March, we might not see him until, you know, September or October. So the WBC is saying, well, we're not going to hold up our belt. So let's make Caudras, who's the #1 contender anyway, fight Estrada, and that's going to be for the interim championship. But remember what we talked about before. If you don't know, an interim championship is supposed to be a real championship. But some organizations like the WBO every now and then, and the WBA is known for it, doesn't use it for what its intent is. An interim champion is usually put in place when the other champion can't compete, like what is considered the real champion, even though the interim champion is the real champion. So, for example, Sergio Martinez, he was the WBC champion, but when Golovkin beat Marco Antonio Rubio, he was the WBC interim champion because Miguel Cotto was fighting Sergio Martinez for the WBC, and that's how, you know, he ended up becoming, just go look it up, right? But you should get my drift. So, pretty much, that's what's going on. I don't think I need to read any more, right? Yeah, I don't need to read any more. So that's coming from the WBC president. If you want to read it for yourself, go down below, check it out. It's in the description box. You know, right at FightView360.com. So as I said, I am back covering videos full time. You know, unless there's like an off week in boxing, then it gives me time to take care of some stuff in the background and not burn myself out. So the goal is to pump out 3 to 5 videos or so a day. And also we're already on start to have more. We have already the most like actual media content that we've had on this channel in quite some time. So, you know, we're covering like a fight actual live event, you know, once a month now. We're not going to burn ourselves out, you know, so we're just going to make sure we do everything, you know, the right way and professionally. But please subscribe. All the links to my social media right down below in the description box. So as I said, what we're going to see first is we're going to see Caudras versus Estrada, probably likely sometime this summer, early summer, I guess you can say. And then the winner of that will have to fight the winner of Rungvisai and Gonzalez. But that's not going to happen till like early to late fall, early to mid fall or so. But what if Rungvisai wants to take an interim bout in between that? It's like, yo, I want to stay busy. And, you know, he's over in Thailand. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, he has to fight somebody in the WBC top 15. So I guess what I'm saying is it's a complex situation. But we may not see the winner of Rungvisai Gonzalez 2 versus the winner of Caudras versus Estrada until, I guess you can probably say 2018. You feel me? You know, so in a way, I'm glad that we're seeing this, especially when it comes to a robbery. But they got to be more consistent, you know. And also, do you feel that even if it was a robbery, in your opinion, that Roman Gonzalez should still be pound for pound #1? Now, a lot of people have been giving him shit for being pound for pound because a lot of people just don't know who he is or didn't have access to watch his fights live before HBO picked him up, because you would have to stream him for the most part. But dude is good. But what we're seeing is we're seeing somewhat, correct me if I'm wrong, we're seeing somewhat of a like Nonito Donaire situation, or more so, or definitely a Donaire situation, or an Abdomara situation, because he was somewhat doing the same thing. That Roman Gonzalez is moving up all these weight classes, right? And if you notice, or if you've been watching his fights and following him, his power's not carrying up like it was. You know, so even though he's fighting the bigger guys and he's doing some amazing things, he is, you know, by fighting all these weight classes. But you're starting to see that the higher he goes up, the more issues that he's having, you know. But that's a good thing because he's really testing himself. So I'm not saying that he shouldn't be pound for pound, because at one point in time, you know, I was a little behind on Roman Gonzalez. But then once they start showing him on HBO, I said, okay, because normally before I watch a fight live, like for example, when I watched Golovkin versus Jacobs, or when I watched Roman Gonzalez versus Rungvisai, what I do is during fight week, and I try not to make sure, I try to do it a little early, maybe the week before fight week or 3 weeks earlier, but I start watching all these older fights. Even though I watched them before, I start watching them again so I can get that information fresh in my head, like, oh yeah, I remember when he fought such and such, and I can start, you know, like talking about like what I think of the fighters. So after watching Roman Gonzalez, I've been, you know, pretty much to say all the fights basically that are available on the internet I've watched. You know, so after watching this fight, like, dude is good. And he was running through those opponents at other divisions outside of when he ran into Juan Estrada, which is a very, you know, big rematch for him. So if you really look at it, he's got some big marketable fights ahead of him, but he's got to keep winning. You know, he's got to keep winning. So now he's got to dispatch of Rungvisai. And then once again, when it comes to those lower weight divisions, you're going to see a lot of stuff like this. It's hard to stay undefeated in those lower weight divisions with the way they be fighting. But anyway, that's it. I ain't mean to make this take so long. I got to get back to the watch this press conference, get these videos out. So if you want more information, please check out the website of TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live.